Hello and welcome to the Complete Lakers podcast. I'm Anthony Wilson, recording from Los Angeles, California. The biggest NBA story right now is a piece that Baxter Holmes wrote for ESPN about the infighting uh, inside the Buss family that led to the Lakers being sold to Mark Walter for $10 billion. But um, the part of the piece that everybody's really more paying more attention to or putting more focus on is the part that where Baxter basically says, and I didn't read the piece. I just gotten the gist of it from social media and stuff like that. Um, and basically, I'll read here from this is how Yahoo Sports summarized it on X. Um, they said Lakers owner Jeannie Buss reportedly began to turn against LeBron James in recent years, per ESPN's Baxter Holmes. Buss complained about what she felt was James's outsized ego and the overt control that he and Clutch Sports exerted over the organization at times. Buss also felt that LeBron was not grateful as he should have been when the Lakers drafted Bronny James in the 2024 NBA draft. Now, obviously, Jeannie, before the sale, she had been the principal owner of the Lakers for I'm not sure exactly how many years it was, going back to when she was finally able to wrestle control of the team away from her family, namely her brother Jim, I think. Um, and she's still the governor of the team, but that's just sort of like I don't know. I mean, she's not the owner of the team anymore, obviously. But so really, this doesn't really. I don't know how much this really matters. I guess. I mean, the new ownership came in and fired her brother, her young brothers who were in the scouting department. And then I don't know if I don't think the expectation is that LeBron will be back with the Lakers next season. So it seems like this is all just like I said, it doesn't really matter anymore. Um, I know Brian Windhurst was saying that he said LeBron has three options for next year. They can uh, go and become an unrestricted free agency, an unrestricted free agent, which he would be. He will be an unrestricted free agent this summer, and he can go and he can leave in free agency, or he can return to the Lakers, but he'd have to take a pay cut, or he can retire. And I would say the most likely scenario is that he leaves in free agency and maybe returns to the Cavaliers some way. But what I really wanted to focus on was the way that cats like Stephen A. and Nick Wright. Well, Nick Wright was the first person I ever heard say that LeBron basically saved the Lakers, right? And I may have repeated that on the podcast before. That LeBron basically he pulled the Lakers out of the doldrums when he arrived here because they had been down for Kobe's last few years, and then the first couple of years after that, it was. I mean, I guess it was starting to look up a little bit before LeBron, just a smidgen. I mean, they weren't. I mean, they had the baby Lakers, right? Uh, and I think they went from. I mean, those last few Kobe years, they were just like the worst team in the league. And I think Luke Walton's first year, they won 26 games, I think. And then I think they went up to 35 or something like that. And I think LeBron's first year, they only won 34, right? But basically, the argument that Nick Wright made and that you see people making now is that LeBron basically saved the Lakers from, I guess, what they feel like would have been continued, uh, just mediocrity. He basically made the Lakers relevant again. And like I said, I've repeated that sentiment on here because he did do that. What I want to kind of push back on a little bit is perhaps the notion that it's like, yes, he did rescue the Lakers from what was the at that time the worst stretch in the history of the Lakers franchise. But the Lakers have a history of. I always remember when Jeff Pearlman said this, that basically with the how he was impressed. Of course, Jeff Pearlman wrote a couple of books on the Lakers. One of them about the Showtime Lakers that became the basis of the HBO show. Um, but he was saying that he admired the way that the Lakers coming out of the '80s, Showtime, which was such a great, memorable run, how they were able to um, like rebuild and reload and actually create another dynasty, which of course was the great Shaq Kobe dynasty, which then they after they split up a few years later, then it's Kobe and Gasol and Lamar Odom, leading us to two more titles and three straight finals appearances. And he was basically saying that there's I mean it wasn't like he basically said if you look at the Knicks and what they did in the '70s winning those two titles, that basically the Lakers could have gone the same way and been this team that had this really famous. Of course, the Lakers had a much, the Knicks only won two titles. Lakers won five in the '80s. But basically, the Lakers could have been this really, this team that was known for this really having these really famous teams at one point, but it was really just like a relic, like a moment in time. But that's what the Lakers obviously, like I said, they created another dynasty, and he was giving them credit for that. And that's what and obviously, that was Dr. Buss, and that was Jerry West, who, that's a whole different ball game. We would have been relying on Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka to do the same thing if LeBron had not gotten here. But the only reason I want to push back a little bit is because it is still the Lakers. If you want to say that Jeannie and Rob never would have figured it out, okay. But I think they, I don't know. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, because the thing about it is that, it's different when you have Buss and West, engineering things. Because a lot of the decisions that Jeannie and Rob have made, over the years haven't been the best. But at the same time, I feel like Luka just falling in the Lakers' lap. That's one of those things that, as Galvis once said, only the Lakers, right? So it makes me feel like even if LeBron hadn't come, that's interesting because if LeBron doesn't come here, AD isn't here. And if AD isn't here, then Nico Harrison doesn't look at the Lakers and go, well, we want to make the trade with you to get Anthony Davis. And who knows if the Lakers are even, that would have been, by now, that would have been coming up on 10 years since Kobe, So I was preparing to say that perhaps we should give the Lakers a little bit more credit than to call LeBron, yes, he saved them in a moment in time, but to say that he's a savior makes it seem like if LeBron hadn't come here, then the Lakers were just done for. The Lakers never would have been like the Lakers again. And I feel tempted to say they deserve a little bit more credit than that. But like I said, I don't know. Jeannie and Rob, that's not Doc Buss and Jerry West. And I give with respect to Bill Sharman, with respect to Mitch Kupchak, I mean, I don't think Rob Pelinka is even, he's not Mitch Kupchak or Bill Sharman. So, definitely not Bill Sharman. He's not Mitch Kupchak. Mitch Kupchak doesn't get enough credit for some of the stuff that he did. It's like, yeah, he was handed a Ferrari, basically. But, yeah, man, I don't know. It's just an interest. Like, it's, I saw Rob Parker saying, the Lakers are the Lakers. Lakers would have rebuilt. But when you actually sit there and think about it, maybe not. um, with Jimmy Butler, being obviously out for the rest of the season after tearing his ACL, there's been some talk of LeBron, to the Warriors, but I don't think they could make that trade in season. Obviously, the Warriors are trying to get rid of Jonathan Kuminga, and he wants out himself. But I think the Kuminga would be good for the Lakers. It's like like a wingman for Luka. But yeah, I know. I mean, I know with the way I think it's all the talk about his first apron stuff and stuff like that. I don't know if it's like and plus LeBron makes 50 million. Kaminga makes, I think I forget how much it was. I think it was like 22 million or something that he's making. So there has to be more piece involved. So yeah, it probably has to be something that they would have to wait till the summer, and maybe do a sign and trade. Uh, maybe Lakers re-sign LeBron for 25 million, and then trade him to the Warriors for Kuminga for whatever he already resigned him for 2 years, I think, for 46, 44 some million, something like that. So yeah, that's probably not something that's going to happen right now. But yeah, like I was saying, this supposed discord or tension. I'm not sure how much it still matters, given that Genie's no longer the owner. Like Lakers have a new owner, Mark Walter, and LeBron is probably on his way out. So you know, um, yeah. Um, the Lakers tonight, they were in LA, but it was a Clippers home game, and they lost to the Clippers. The final score was 112 to 104. The Lakers have now lost 6 of 9 after winning 2 in a row, and the Clippers have won 14 of 17. So the Clippers were 6-21, now they're 20-24. So you have to expect that they would swing back. It's just you wonder, you know, how long are they going to be able to keep up this pace? Is there going to come a point where you go, okay, they're going to hit a wall because they got so far behind, and they have to expend so much energy to catch up, and they just run out of gas at a certain point. Ivica Zubac had 18 points and 19 rebounds for the Clippers, which was fascinating because DeAndre Ayton, against the Raptors, he had 25 points and 13 rebounds and 10 of 10 shooting. And then the last 2 games, he only played 15 and 21 minutes. He played 15 minutes against the Nuggets, which makes a little bit more sense because the Nuggets are without Joker, so you don't really have, they play a little bit more small ball. But tonight, only 21 minutes with Zubac having a hell of a game. I think Aiden finished with 4 points and 5 rebounds. That's really not quite enough. I mean, obviously that's not enough, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's fascinating that they would not give him more minutes to try to match. But I guess if he just wasn't doing anything, he wasn't doing anything. Only 4 points, 5 rebounds in 21 minutes. It seemed like maybe JJ is getting closer and closer to. Remember, I think I was talking to one of my buddies, and they're saying like JJ really don't want to play any bigs anyway, you know. So that could just be the case. Aiden was playing really well at first, and now he's come back to earth. I talked about it last time. How I mean, if it were me, my goal would be to get Aiden about 15 shots a game. You know, just because, especially with big men, the more touches they get, uh, the more active they are defensively, the harder they crash the boards, and run the court, stuff like that. You got to feed the big dog, uh, or else he won't protect the house. He won't protect the yard. And uh, I feel like Aiden is an X factor for this team, and that they should go out of their way to get him more more touches. You know, um, but yeah, we'll just have to see uh, what what they end up doing. The trade deadline is coming up. I don't know what type of moves they could make. Uh, I will say it's fascinating. I said earlier in the season that when the Lakers called up Drew Timmy, that I was hoping that he would get all of Maxi Kleber's minutes, which when it started happening. Like, yeah, 21-point game in that game against the Blazers, but it wasn't a competitive game, really. Uh, I like Drew Timmy. I think it's cool. He was a really good player at Gonzaga, fantastic. In the NBA, he basically kind of is basically like a Max Kleber. Max Kleber was a decent player when he was younger. Now he just doesn't. He's had his day. But Drew Timmy, you watching him in the league, he does seem a bit like a stiff. You know, but yeah, uh, I mean, I'm rooting for him, but yeah, it just sucks that they can't get Aiden to be a more consistent. But I think they could. But yeah, he could also just be one of those guys who's because historically that's kind of been a downgrade. Like I was betting on him last year when he was in Portland, and I feel like the Blazers kind of went as he did, but you just never knew which Aiden was going to show up. So um, yeah, I mean it's not all on JJ. Aiden himself has to show up and show guys that he's ready to play. You know. Now I want to say something briefly about something that happened to me. I got finished tonight playing a full season. Uh, it's my first Madden season since I was a teenager, probably. Uh, I played with the Rams. What's funny is that I was I was playing, and then I turned the game, and the Lakers were getting blown out. And at first I looked at prize. I was in Prize Picks, and I looked, and at first I thought the Lakers were blowing the Clippers out, and then I went on ESPN and they're like, because it said LACLAL in Prize Picks, and I got it. Uh, I wasn't paying attention, or I got it mixed up. And at first I thought the Lakers were blowing the Clippers out, and then I went on ESPN and realized, oh shit, the Clippers are blowing the Lakers out. And the Lakers did cut it down to I forgot to mention that the Clippers were blowing them out. The Lakers cut it down to you know 3 points there in the fourth quarter, but they couldn't get over the hump. But yeah, my Madden season. So it was the first season I had played in a while. Since probably since I was a teenager. I just got the PS5 a couple of years ago. I skipped the PS4, but I did play PS1, 2, and 3, as well as Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64 back in the day. But yeah, my first Madden season in a long time. I chose the Rams and won 11-6 during the regular season. 10-3. I started 10-3, but then lost three of my last four. You know, I'm the type of guy when I play Madden or any football game when I play NCAA football. I like to run the football, and I had great success running the football. Kyron Williams had over 1,500 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns. He was also a great option in the passing game. Blake Corum was also excellent as his backup. Uh, and I pretty much only pass if I have to, if I had to, like on obvious passing downs. Otherwise, I was running the ball. Uh, so the numbers wise, the passing numbers looked pedestrian. Uh, I pretty much found like two passing plays that I liked, and I would just spam those whenever I passed the ball. That's when I would those are the plays I would run. And then towards the end of the season, the defense pretty much, like I said, I was only running two passing plays, and the defenses that I was facing were pretty much just they're taking Puka Nakua out of the game. And so I kind of sputtered down the stretch and you know back into the playoffs and played the Eagles in the wild card round, and I was up 12-7, and it was a 4th and 2 with it was just after the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. I remember now I'm playing 7-minute quarters on All Pro, so that's another reason the passing numbers would be so pedestrian because I'm only playing 7-minute quarters. But yeah, and it's just another 2-minute warning, and I'm at about midfield. It's like fourth. I think it was 4th and 2, and I decided I'm going to go for it, and so I'm going to go for it, and I ran one of my pet passing plays. Play where Kyron Williams, he comes out of the backfield and cuts across the middle of the field, and I hit him. I mean, I throw the ball to him, and he's open, but he hadn't quite finished controlling, completing his route, and the ball, fell incomplete. And it was, to me, it was one of those, Madden just wanted me to lose type moments, right? And then the Eagles get the ball back around midfield. They drive down. Jalen Hurts, on the keeper, he scores to give them the lead. 14, get the 2-point conversion, so they're up 15-12 with under 30 seconds left. I get the ball back, complete a long pass. I think it was to Puka, and now I'm in range. I think it was like a 31-yard or 33-yard field goal at first, and I took a delay of game by accident because they wouldn't let me call a timeout. I don't know why. Maybe I just called one. And then, yeah, I guess that's what happened. I caught it, and then I called the timeout. And when I got up to the line of scrimmage, I was trying to, I guess I was gonna check out of it. I was gonna change the play, and I tried to call timeout again, and said I couldn't call back to back timeouts. So I had to take a delayed game, and then I could. I mean, I didn't trust my kicker, and then also I was so frustrated by the recent losing that and scared of the Eagles, which is another reason I went for it on fourth down. The reason I went for it on 4th and 2 from midfield is because I'm scared of the Eagles offense, even though I had 7 points. It's just you know it's like Hurts is better in the game than he is in real life, and plus he can run, right? And so I figured, man, if I punt the ball here, they're going to score anyway. I might as well just go for it, and then I can just ice the game. And like I said, it felt incomplete. But now, I managed to drive back down with under 30 seconds left. And there's 3 seconds left now, and I think after the delay game, it was like a 36 or 38-yard field goal. But like I said, I don't trust my kicker. And I don't want to go to overtime anyway. I just want it to be over with one way or another. And so one of the passing plays, I run it, but I run it in reverse of how I usually run it. And I managed to get Puka one-on-one in the end zone. and I throw the ball, and he jumps up, and he really should have caught it, but the hit from the defender caused him to drop the ball, and my season was over. I feel like it was another one of those. Madden just they wanted me to lose. And I'm kind of bummed about it. I've also been playing a season with the Bulls on 2K, the '92 Bulls. So I have to get back into that. But yeah, I'm definitely disappointed because who the hell wants to play a video game and play a whole 17 game season and then just lose in the wild card round? You know. But what can I do about it? I'm not gonna sit there and tell myself it's just a game. It didn't feel like it's just a video game. I'm deeply disappointed in myself. Um, and then I just wanted to say one last thing right here at the end. So the Oscar nominations came out, and Sinners was nominated 18 times for Best Picture, for Best Director, for Best Actor, for Michael B. Jordan, and in the Best Supporting Actress category. I forget I'm not sure the lady's name, but the lady who played the black dark skinned black lady in the movie. Everybody in the movie did great. Also, Delroy Lindo was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I think that's his first. Is that his first Oscar nomination? I'm not sure. It might have been. But yeah, shout out to Delroy Lindo. Shout out to Michael B. Jackson. Michael B. Jordan, I should say. That's his first acting nomination at the Oscars. They also did a great job, and so did the black lady who's nominated. Well, I really feel like Haley Steinfeld. She got snubbed, man. She did a great job. I don't know why they didn't nominate her. I feel like the kid who, the white vampire ringleader. What's his name? Remick? Is it Jeremy Remick? I forget his name. But he did such a hell of a job. You could say that he got snubbed also. But I guess it was so many great performances, and then there are other movies that you have to have. You know, I guess it was only it was inevitable that somebody would get snubbed. But yeah, she did a hell of a job in that movie, and she's such a hot piece of ass. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to say. I feel like she did a great job, and she should have been nominated, and as well as Miles Caton. So like I said, bro, the Oscars had a tough choice, but if it were up to me, I'm more okay with Delroy Lindo getting the nod over Preacher Boy and the white gentleman than I am with the black lady getting the nod over Haley Steinfeld. I think Haley Steinfeld, I feel like she deserved that. Yeah, so before I get out of here, just a reminder to hit that subscribe button next to the Complete Podcast Network, and to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network. You can also send feedback and mailbag questions to Complete Lakers Podcast at gmail.com. I am out.